Andre Harrell didn't like Tupac?
Come on, man. You heard interviews and shit he talked about Pac. He ain't like Pac.
Hey, he's the one that was over that New York Undercover, huh?
Yeah. It had something to do with it, yeah. A lot to do with it.
Great show, man. One of my favorite shows of all time, man.
That's the only thing that dates me. OVO 40, hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick. I'm the only thing that dates me. OVO 40, hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick. I'm the only thing that dates me. OVO 40. Tick. I'm the only thing that dates me. OVO 40, hunched over like he 80.
So the people who knew what was going to happen to Pac was in the studio. Was in the part of the quad studio with Jimmy Hitchman, and that was Andre Harrell and Puffy. So Puff knew, Andre Harrell knew, and you know by his conversation, you know Andre Harrell he wasn't too fond of Pac anyway.
Hey, he's the one that was over that New York Undercover, huh?
Yeah, it had something to do with it. Yeah, a lot to do with it.
And I had been hanging out with Tupac that week because I wanted Tupac to do an episode of a television show called New York Undercover here. So they called me and they said that Tupac is coming down, and we want you to come down, Andre. So I said, all right. So I got there. We're on one floor, a little short, and Biggie Smalls on another floor.
When Tupac arrived at the studio, a gang of armed assailants approached and shot him 5 times.
Tupac comes up the elevator, and he's upset, and I'm looking at him, like, trying to figure out what's the matter. And he said, then I look at his head, and he's bleeding. And then he said, he just got shot. So he's taking off his coat, and he's looking around like, who did this? And I'm like, I'm standing in the front.
Lyrics. Kendrick said, give me Tupac's ring back and I might give you a little respect. Before this whole beef started, Drake and his crew was taunting Kendrick Lamar to come out and play to see really just how petty Drake is. Now that I know that because I have Tupac's ring, it bothers you, I'm now going to make it my job to troll the fuck out of you every single day. Knowing that this ring is valuable to you, I'm gonna show you just how much I do not care about this ring.
Drake seemingly confirms that he is the one who bought Tupac's $1 million crown ring. Hey, what's up? I'm A-Dub, and check this out. So the rare piece of jewelry that is worth over $1 million at the Sotheby's auction celebrating hip-hop's 50th anniversary in New York City on Tuesday, July 25th, making it the most valuable hip-hop artifact ever. The ring is made of gold, ruby, and diamonds and features an inscription that reads Pac and Dada 1996, referencing to the late rapper's engagement to his sweetheart, Kadada Jones. Pac famously wore the ring during his final public appearance at the 1996 MTV Video Music Awards, just days before he was tragically killed at the age of 25 in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. While the identity of the winning bidder was initially kept a secret, it looks like Drake was the one who forked out 7 figures to claim the crown ring for himself. In the early hours of Friday, July 28th, Drake posted a close-up photo on his Instagram stories of him wearing the regal artifact. Utopia out now, Meltdown at Travis Scott, he wrote in the caption, plugging his collaboration on Travis Scott's new album, which dropped at midnight. Drizzy even brags about his spending power on the song, rapping,
I pull out $1 million to stare at the shit.
Drake has made no secret of his love for Tupac in the past. Back in 2020, he spent a similar eye-watering amount on a pair of matching custom chains dedicated to Tupac. Designed by celebrity jeweler Jason of Beverly Hills, the chains each featured a pendant of Pac, one of him wearing a blue bandana and diamond crown of thorns, and the other with a red bandana and gold crown of thorns. They cost $600,000 in total. More recently, Drake revealed that Tupac was his most listened to artist on Spotify last year. He spun the late rap legend's music for a total of 246 minutes on the streaming platform, which placed him among the top 7% of Pac's listeners in 2022. Tupac's crown ring is just the latest in Drake's growing collection of expensive hip-hop artifacts.
The bottom is actually quite worn because belly. He really thought through how it should look, and a well-loved and meaningful piece to a lot of people.
He knew who was there at the hotel scene where the raping took place. And there were some people who were part of that situation who were like really known in the streets as really being notorious bad guys. So I thought that maybe the incident might have had something to do with what Tupac potentially could say to defend himself, to say that he didn't do it and maybe somebody else did the raping. And I thought that was like a message to say, before you think about doing that, you better do this, you better do this, you better do this. And I think he knew that, but I don't think at that point he was prepared to address that beef with that particular group of folks, because that particular group of folks, they weren't about records, they were about beefs.
Voila! It's your brother John back in the building, aka Mindbender, here at Metro 360, doing it like we always do about this time. So let's get knee deep into this shit. So I was peeping out celeb source today, and I noticed he had this picture of Drake in the video where he turns around and he has this imagery on his sweater. I realized the video that this came from, but I never really paid no attention to the airbrushing on the sweater. I realized that the man on the sweater, I think, is Malik Yoba. If there's somebody out there that can correct me on that, please do. Because I looked online for Drake with the Malik Yoba sweater on, and I could not find anything in a Google search, for whatever reason. But then, I ran across this strange-ass article that Malik Yoba wrote in 2012, exactly 12 years ago. And it was a feud at the time between Drake and Chris Brown going on. And this is what Malik Yoba had to say. The same thing with Drake in reference to talking to Chris Brown. I was at a club in Toronto shooting alphas, and he was there with his entourage, and he came over to introduce himself. So those two guys got into a fight. When I watch young dudes that have access and make money, it makes me think, how do we define manhood? Is it beating each other in the head with bottles at the club? There's much more to that conversation that needs to be had, because you got young dudes out here still trying to figure it out. The understanding is that nothing happens by chance or accident. A lot of this stuff is planned, preponderance. At the end of the day, you have to wonder how things go in cycles, you know? And 36-month intervals are needed to keep the status up. But why would this man get an airbrush shirt of an undercover cop? I didn't know anybody that was that anxious, no females or dudes, to have no goddamn Malik Yoba sweater on. Are you fucking kidding me? That nigga was an okay actor, first of all, but second of all, I don't know nobody going to get no goddamn Malik Yoba shirt. New York Undercover ain't been a popular TV show in 20 fucking years, 30 years, whoever knows how long. It been off the air. You know, they want to bring up their stories of rebooting the shit, but who gives two fucks? I don't want them to reboot it. You know what I'm saying? That show was garbage. You know what I'm saying? Nobody give a fuck about no cop show. And this is the shit that Kendrick was talking about. This psyop ass shit, where they try to force you to believe that this fucking actor from Toronto was a big fan of Malik Yoba's. You get what I'm telling you? And even if he was, it's like, are you serious? He couldn't be. Yeah, he could. Didn't Jimmy from Degrassi get shot and shit and paralyzed? Maybe he needed to call Malik Yoba from goddamn New York Undercover to come rescue him. I mean, it took me a lot of years to find this dumb ass shit, but the fact that I'm even reporting it based on entertainment value is only one part of it. The other part of it is this. Drake is a goddamn psyop, and his ass got exposed. You know, the one album that we say is a classic of his, we all know The Weeknd wrote it, organized it, orchestrated it, at least 6 to 7 joints on there, if not the whole goddamn album. And this 40 Shabib nigga, yo man, sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. What the fuck are you talking about? Jooby jooby joo, nigga. Get your ass out of here, stupid. You think just because you have some money and the power to make people do shit makes you hard? No, it still makes you a bitch. I heard all the stories about you telling DJs and shit, man, you know what I'm saying? Threatening them and shit for playing Kendrick's record in Toronto. Are you stupid or what? Drake is the one who called Kendrick out, bro. And so you don't want DJs to play the most popular song in the world? I guess you the new Suge Knight and shit now. Get your ass out of here, stupid. Only 40 is E40, nigga.
That's the only thing that dates me. OVO 40, hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick. I'm the only thing that dates me. OVO 40, hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick. I'm the only thing that dates me. OVO 40, hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick. I'm the only thing that dates me. OVO 40, hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick. I'm the only thing that dates me. OVO 40, hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick.